Well, a massive hello and welcome along to the Daily Brew. Today, the devotional, where every single day we drink a new brew of coffee and we see what God is brewing for us in the Bible. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's true. And you join me today for day 126 here in Auckland, New Zealand, in my kitchen for another Super 7, Super Store-Bought can or bottle coffee. Coffee can or bottle. I can't remember what we said all those almost 121 days ago. That's what I said, 121 days. I didn't write it down. Probably should have written it down. Could have gone back and looked though, but I didn't. You join me today though, regardless, for another set of 7. So we've got a cold can to try today, and I'm very excited to get into that. Before we do though, let's talk about the scriptures that we're reading. As always, they are in the descriptions on every platform. Psalm 57 verse 1 to 6. John chapter 4 verse 43 to chapter 5 verse 15, and Joshua chapter 4 verse 1 to chapter 5 verse 31. Those are our scriptures today, so make sure you get into those. Either pause this now and read them, or read them at the end, whatever floats your goat. Do it that way. But because it is day 7, I'm excited because we have got a Supreme Coffee long black in a can. This is what it says. Coffee, Supreme iced coffee, roasted for flavor, cold brewed for taste, and canned for convenience. Crafted for those who enjoy their coffee bright, strong, and icy cold. Coffee Supreme long black. It's water, but cooler. Interesting. So, I'm going to be honest. I have tried these different long blacks before, and I've not enjoyed them. I'm not as pumped about trying this one today, although Supreme is one of my more favorite coffee flavors. So we're going to give this a go, and we're going to try it out, and we're going to see how it feels, how it tastes, and whether or not I like its initial taste or not, which has been the problem with the other ones. I haven't enjoyed the initial taste, but I'm going to give it a shake like it says to do on the thing. You can hear it shaking. There you go. And I'm going to open it up and see what it tastes like. Here we go. Let's get this opening. Oh, there you go. Jeepers. Should I sniff it? Oh, it actually smells quite yum. Smells a bit chocolatey. Let's give this a go and see how this tastes today. The Coffee Supreme Long Black. Let's give it a go. Yep. Okay. Oh, jeepers. That's good. Wow, that is unbelievable. It tastes like a chocolate. It tastes like chocolate. How have they done that? I want to go again. The initial taste, as always, not very good, but actually, you know what? I really like that. I really like this. I really like this. I thought at the start, initially, maybe the acidity's been my big problem when you have one of these cold brew iced coffees, particularly without milk or sugar. Because this is just coffee. This is just brewed coffee. That's all that is in the ingredients for this, right? But when you normally have one of these, you get a sugary initial taste, but without the sugar and without the milk, it's quite acidic-y. This one, though, not so. Not so at all. Just a beautiful coffee taste. Wowzers. I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. I said it. There you go. 9.5 out of 10. What are you going to do? 9.5 out of 10. That's good. You've got to get one of these. You've got to try that. You've got to give this a go. This is beautiful. This is brilliant. I rate this very, very strongly. If you can, I don't even know if they're selling these around. I don't even know. But if you can, get yourself one of these Coffee Supreme Long Black in a can. There you go. I'm genuinely surprised. I thought I wasn't going to like that. But there you are. 10, did I say 10? No, 9 out of 10, eh? Not a 10 out of 10, but a 9, but a solid 9. I like it. It's very good. 9 out of 10. Give that a go. It'd be perfect for a hot day. Let's get into our devotional, though, the reason that we are here for today, and let's get started. I want to actually talk to us today in our devotional about 3 things that we should pray for based off of the scriptures that we read today. 3 topics that can have significant difference in our lives. The first of these is to pray for mercy. David, throughout the Psalms, you'll see that he consistently asks God for mercy. God is in the business of answering prayers for mercy. It's a prayer that attracts heaven and a prayer that should be only prayed in faith. Jesus himself, he prayed for mercy on the cross. It's actually the act of Jesus on the cross that provides us mercy from God's judgment and his wrath on the earth today. Jesus makes it possible for everyone to receive this mercy so that anyone who calls on his name will be saved. David, he finds himself on the run hiding from Saul, and he cries out to God for mercy and attaches it to the purpose that God has for him in his cry for help. David, he was clear of his purpose, and he knew that God indeed would fulfill that promise. God is faithful. And David writes that God sends from heaven and saves him. Today, my prayer is that you would find this too. Ask God for mercy. The next prayer I want to encourage us to pray is a prayer for healing, both for ourselves and for others too. Now, I know there's a risk attached to this prayer, and it's, well, what if God doesn't actually answer this prayer? Unanswered prayer can be a really difficult thing to wrestle with, and I don't want to brush over this lightly or just make it seem like it's not a big deal, because it can be really hard for people to wrestle with this if you've prayed for healing and it hasn't happened. And there's simply no understanding why sometimes God's healing power flows and why sometimes it just seems to not be. We have to settle it in our hearts, guys, that God's way is higher than ours and his ways are greater than ours. And that there are some things that we're just never going to know, never going to understand. But this is faith. And it's with this lens of faith that we need to make sure we're not limited in our prayer for what if God doesn't move to what if God does move. Be unlimited. That's an unlimited question. Like, what if God was to move? What if healing actually happens? What if someone was to receive the healing power and it was the thing that changed them forever? We should pray for healing. I believe with all my heart that God does still heal. I believe that God does move today. I've seen it in my life and I've seen it in the lives of others around me. I've seen God do miraculous things, and I do believe that he's at work right now. It's this faith that attracts God. It's a ruthless truth that Jesus wasn't going to respond to the royal official in our story today. Look at what Jesus says in verse 48. It's going to come up on screen because I wanted to read this to you. Look at this. Unless you people see signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe. The reality is that God isn't going to move if we're asking for a miracle so that in return we will believe. That isn't faith. That's a bartering system. I think Jesus is right. I think often in our lack of faith, we want to see God do a miracle so that we would then believe. But it's believe first and then miracles second. This man doesn't let Jesus go, and Jesus sends him on his way with the word, your son will live. Imagine being this man, leaving Jesus in this moment, taking him at his word and at his word alone. It would be so hard to do this. Jesus, the miracle man, hasn't come with me physically, but I have this word and I believe my son will live and that Jesus will heal my son because he said that that's what he would do. Man, can I be honest? This is the faith that I desire. That would just take Jesus. I'm blown away by this guy. Like, what a guy. Jesus gives him his word and he takes him at his word. He's never met Jesus before, but he has faith that Jesus will do the healing work because Jesus said that he would do it. And it's amazing. I want to have that kind of faith that trusts God at his word. When he gets home, it was at the time Jesus said, go, that the son was healed. That's the power of one word from God. My question is this for all of us. Do you have the faith to believe today? Do you have the faith to take God at his word? Listen, if you've been struggling with some disappointment at a healing or a miracle that you desired to see take place and it didn't happen, please don't allow that to derail your faith. I want to encourage you to get around some people, to talk it out and to get back right with God. It's not easy, but it's important to do. And quickly today, the last thing I want to do is I want to talk to us about praying for leadership. John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership. And if this is true, then we need to pray for our leaders. Deborah was a leader born out of prayer. She was an answer to Sirsa's mother who cried out to God in prayer. Deborah was a charismatic leader who was so valued that Barak says to her, he will not go without her. That's a significant leader right there. There was another woman, who God raised up. Her name was Jael, who finally brings victory to the people of God. God's answer to issues is leadership. We need to pray for the leaders that God has given us already and then pray for leaders who God is rising up, that they would be humble, hungry, and anointed for the season ahead. In fact, in verse 31, we see a short list of leadership qualities that we should ask for, both for us and for others. We see that we should pray for warmth, energy, strength, boldness, and fearlessness. I'm going to say that again. Warmth, energy, strength, boldness, and fearlessness. Man, my prayer is this. Let that be the leaders that God rises up in Jesus' name. Let that be said of me, that I am warm, I'm strong, I have energy, I'm bold, and that I'm fearless. I'm praying that for you today in Jesus' name as well. Verse of the day. John 4:53 is our verse of the day. Let's read it together. It says, "Then the Father realized that it was at the exact time at which Jesus said to him, 'Your son will live.' So he and his whole household believed." The word believed is in reference here to not that Jesus could heal, but that he was Messiah, that he was the one who he said that he was. And they believed, they entered into a faith-based relationship with God. So at the word of Jesus, there was a healing, but there was also a whole family that came into relationship with God as well. Wow, that's amazing. One word. I want to be a believer that one word could change my life and change the lives of those around me too. And that is it today, day 126 on the Daily Brew, done and dusted. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm still perplexed at how amazing this long black was. It was really, really good. Make sure you try and get yourself one of those if they're still available to buy. I think they were running on a limited time offer, so maybe just got in there. But if you ever see one, make sure you get one. Let me know how it tastes. I'd love to know. Hey, a massive thank you to everybody who's actually been reaching out to me on social media. I love that. Thank you so much. It's awesome to dialogue with you and find out about what you're enjoying and find out what God is speaking to you. Also to those in the comment section on YouTube as well, thank you for posting up there. It's encouraging to me to see that God is speaking to you as well. Hey, that is it for today, though. Thank you so much to all of you who have followed the podcast and rated it, and to all of you watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and for clicking the bell so that you never miss a devotional upload or any of the other content that we release here on the platforms across the interweb. Thank you so much for joining me. That is it, though, for today. If it's the start of your day, have a great rest of your day. If it's the end, sleep tight, good night. It should say good night, sleep tight, good night, whatever. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Just have a good sleep, eh? Have a good one of those. Finish your day. Tomorrow is a new lot of 7, so come back tomorrow for a new lot of 7 coffees. And at the end of that week, we're going to be back on Tea Week, and Annalise is going to be bringing us some awesome devotionals for Tea Week. Looking forward to coming back to that. But goodbye, I'm done. I've talked too long. See you later. Have a great time. Tomorrow, I'll be back here. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.